Okay, and we're live. Welcome to the Nothing But Nuggets podcast, where we do live interviews each and every week with people all around the country specialize in different things. So today I have Jeremy Funderburk with me. He runs a agency that teach people how to launch their own digital marketing agencies right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. So do me a favor, Jeremy, introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? So, my name is Jeremy Funderburk on a company called Lifestyle CEO Fast. I'm the author of the book Never Work the 40, and I am the leader of the Never Work the 40 movement. And basically, what I do is I help people start their own digital marketing companies the same way I did. That was how that's how I made my escape from corporate America. I haven't worked the 9 to 5 or 40-hour work week since 2019. So I just help people start their own marketing companies so they escape the corporate rat race the same way I did, man.
Nice. So I like that. Never worked the 40. So what made you come up with that concept?
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. I tell everybody the vision came to pass October 2021. And that month, the first week, me and my wife, we had flew out. We were just traveling like crazy. So we flew out to St. Louis, Missouri the first week. Second week, we flew out to Houston, Texas. The third week, we were home. Fourth week, we flew out to Disney for the week. And I was sitting here, I was like, yo, I worked less than 10 hours the entire month. But then I still made $20,000 that month.
Wow. And this is like at the time of your you was running your agency. This is before 20, I mean after 2019, I'm assuming, right?
Yep. So yeah, agency was in full effect by then. Launched the agency back in 2019.
So you did this before COVID even came about.
Yeah, man. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So, we was prepared.
Yeah, so let's talk about your early, childhood or your upbringings and you got your first job and all of that stuff.
Yeah. You know what was crazy? I just a weird kid. Like I think I'm a born entrepreneur
Okay.
because like for the longest, like I told everybody, like as a kid, I wanted to be an artist. That was my deal. Like second grade, I'm buying books on how to draw. So I'm just drawing like crazy. And then by the time I was in middle school or going into middle school, I told my dad, hey, I want to start networking. Like networking? What you know about networking? You all 10 years old. What you talking about? But then we started going to all these comic book conventions, all these events. And I started meeting the other artists. And I remember meeting a guy named Wally. He's still a big brother to me today. And he was like, I was in the 8th grade. He's like, yo, maybe one day, you could be back here at a table like us. And then that day, I was like, I set the goal. It's like, one day I'm going to have my own table at one of these events. Little did I know it would be the next year. So
Wow.
my freshman year of high school, I was one of the professionals at the tables at the events, ended up getting published before graduating high school. And I was just living that life. And I was telling people, like, yo, I'm never going to get a job. But then what they say, the easiest way to kill a big dream is to introduce it to a small mind.
Exactly.
I started telling people like, yo, I'm never gonna work a job. And then the more experienced people laugh and like, yeah, you say that now. I was like, what they talking about? So I let them influence me, and then I went that job route, and it took me completely out in the entrepreneurial way until what the big shift for me was. It was 2018. I knew I was going to propose to my girlfriend at the time. I knew I was going to propose to her Christmas 2018. So I interviewed for a company, right? And I'm like, y'all, like, I love the job I'm at. It's cool. Like, my boss was cool. Like, I used to be a personal trainer. I trained him. He gave me a job, a corporate job, just so I could, like, provide, but they wasn't paying me that much. So I was like, I like where I'm at, but I need to make more money so that way I can, because I'm about to get engaged. I need to take care of my soon-to-be wife. And I was like, I'm interviewing for this corporate sales role, and I told them, I am going to be the hardest working employee you got. I was like, on average, how many calls do each of your sales reps make every day? And they said, between 30 to 40 is required. And I laughed at them. And they was like, yeah, you laughing now, but wait till you hop on those phones. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. They gave me the job. I hop on the phones. Bro, I'm knocking out 80 calls minimum every single day.
Wow.
So
like single-handedly dialing, or you had like software?
oh, dude, if I had an auto dial, I would have did way more. Like they had no up-to-date software. Like they had no training, no product training, no sales training, no training at all. So I come in like even like the little like Scantron, like when you take tests and stuff, they gave us like Scantrons to clock in and clock out. They didn't have like a computer system for that stuff.
Wow.
So like no up-to-date stuff. So I'm like actually dialing the number on the phone, this old phone that looked like it came straight from the 80s. I'm just like making all these dials. But I did 6 figures that first month. Did another 6 figures for them the second month. Got engaged that month. Then comes January and they're like, all right, cool. We're cutting your pay. We're changing your whole position.
Cutting your pay after you made them multiple 6 figures?
Yeah, it's like, so now they're like, instead of getting 1% to 2% commission on what you did, we're just going to pay you $50 per new account that you open for us. And now we just want you to cold call new businesses every month. And we want you to open up us another $1 million book of business between January and December. So
wow. Like, what kind of company was this again?
It was selling like door hardware, cheap stuff like freaking doorknobs and hinges.
Wow.
And stuff. So I'm selling these like, so I'm saying like, yeah, they're under $47,000 in sales. It's selling cheap products. So it's a lot of sales.
Wow.
But I'm cranking it out there. I single-handedly started opening up more new accounts than the entire department used to do combined. And so I'm cranking it out. At this point, I'm doing 127 cold calls every single day. All the way throughout beginning of March, I get married. In the March, they called me to the break room. Quick celebration. Congratulations on your wedding. And it was just like Dunkin' Donuts in the break room, whatever. When that's serious. But like, whatever. I appreciate it. Go back to my desk, keep cranking out calls. By the end of March, I had built them $1 million book of business.
Wow.
So I hit my year goal in 3 months, come in the beginning of April, and it's like, yo, dude, you rocked it. Thanks for everything you've done for us. We don't need you anymore. Had all my stuff packed up in the box waiting at the door.
Man, sales can be real cutthroat. I tell people, when you're good at sales, you can literally feed yourself. You know what I mean? So let's get into, okay, they pack your stuff up. They use you up. I guess they build a ton of customers where they can maintain accounts now. They good. They don't need you. They don't want to pay you commission. Obviously, that's what it is. How did you go from that devastation to your current situation? What was the transition? What happened?
Yeah, and that one piece was key because it stayed in the back of my mind. And I had the conversation with my wife eventually where I'm like, if I can do $1 million in 3 months for this company, I can do at least 6 figures working for myself.
Right.
So, but I'm just married. Like, I ain't been married a full month yet. I'm like, I can't be out here with no job, no income, trying to start something new. So I'm like, all right, well, let me try to get another job. Ended up applying for this general sales manager position at a gym. Don't know what made me do it, but on the interview, the manager gives me a tour of the gym, and they have this thing called cardio cinema, where it's basically like a movie theater in the gym. Instead of theater seats, it's just exercise bikes and treadmills and stuff like that.
Wow, I never heard of it.
So, me neither. So on the interview, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I pulled out my phone, went on Instagram, and started promoting. And he goes, "You're good with social media marketing? We need that." And he hires me. I know nothing about social media marketing. But I'm like, I want to produce. So I took money I didn't have, invested into a course. And I was like, all right, I'm going to learn this stuff. And as I went through it, I was like, I can make more money, start my own agency and doing this for myself than working here. So I told the operations manager at the job, I was like, I'm thinking about starting my own agency. And he was like, well, I actually used to have one. So I would talk to him, bounce off ideas. It took me weeks of begging. I'm like, you should be my business partner. He kept telling me no, but eventually I broke him down. We became business partners and we launched our agency. And then we just grew it from there.
Wow. Tell me about your first couple of clients. Like, what was your experience like?
Horrible.
Customer service, like dealing with like customer service based businesses, man, it can be kind of sticky at times. So tell me about your first couple of clients, the good and the bad, and how you got to it.
Yeah. And it's so weird. So we're starting out and I'm door knocking, doing all this stuff, trying to get clients. Nobody's going to buy. First client we got was a lady who actually worked at the gym. She ended up becoming the new personal training director. And she's like, yeah, I'm starting this health company. I need help marketing it. So we just charged like $300 to manage your social media accounts. We set it up for them, did the posting for her, all that type of stuff. Simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed cool at first. I'm like, yo, we just made our first $300. And that's like, well, I got a partner, so we have to split the money. And it's like, well, the business needs money too. So afterwards, I'm like, yo, all I got is $100, and I'm about to work all month for this $100.
Yeah.
And she was so needy. So I'm like, yo, it's like I'm working 40 hours a week to make $100 a month. It was awful. And it was the same thing for the next client and the next client. But then what changed was I decided to pay and invest in a coach. And I realized, one, I need to have a niche. So I got a niche. And two, I start realizing I need to change my pricing. So I niched down to work with realtors and do Facebook ads and stuff for realtors. And eventually it became a whole system we put together for them. But I remember I pitched the client and I was like, it's $997. And then he paid it. And I'm like, yo, I was working so hard for $300, but I had clients willing to pay me $1,000.
Yeah.
So then I talked to another person, it's $1,350, and he paid it. Talked to another person, it's $1,750, and he paid it. And then I started just going crazy in my head. We talked to this lady, it was like $6,000.
Yeah.
And that's why, check this out. She paid it. Changed my life. And in terms of what you said about the experience, the biggest thing, I realized the people who pay the least, they pay the least and expect the most.
Oh, yes.
Clients who pay premium value, they pay you the most and they ask for the least.
Exactly. And I noticed that in my business. We run a bunch of different businesses, and the people who pay like our what we call our subpar clients, people who pay $500 or less for things, they give you the hardest time. But the people who pay, like I got clients who pay me $5,000, $15,000, $20,000. Them the clients that's really easy to work with. You know what I mean?
Really
So,
easy.
the biggest thing that we did in our business was we, like you said, that coaching thing. That coaching, we went out and we got coaching. Because I'm real big on the real estate side, but I wanted to really create something on the service-based business side. And I went out and see coaching. All last year, I was up and down the road getting trained and getting information. And the first thing one of the coaches did said was double your prices. So literally, we had a $900 product and we doubled it to $1,400, and people didn't even flinch. Like, they just paid it. Okay, whatever. So I'm contemplating on doubling it to $2,500 because that's what I think it's worth. So sometimes you have to charge people based on what stuff is worth, right? Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing people get confused. So in your agency, tell me about your structure. Like, are you using virtual assistants? Are you using people here in America? Can you get into a little details about that?
Yeah, so as I started growing my first agency, first thing me and my partner did, because at first it was just me and him. I'm CEO, visionary, salesperson. He's COO, integrator, operator. So we had all that going at first, but then once we got a coach, part of his program was he found and hired a virtual assistant for us. Now, it was still up to me to manage them, train them, all that type of stuff. But I started realizing, like, all right, I can really get some leverage out of this, which my first assistant did not. He never produced anything ever. He's like the nicest guy. And I felt bad because when I hired him, he told me, like, yeah, we got a baby on the way. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, yo, I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. And then I get to a point where it's like my money went low. He wasn't producing anything. But like business accounts, all that hit zero. And I'm like, yo, I can't afford to pay him, but I don't want to let him go because he's about to have a baby. Right. And my wife is like, just pay him from our savings account. So we drained our savings paying this man for months. And then after he had his baby, I'm like, dang, I don't want to let him go after he had his baby. So he's like, I don't know if the baby's coming this week or next week. hey, just take this whole week off. If the baby comes, cool, whatever. I'm gonna pay you. If the baby doesn't come, I'm still gonna pay you.
Right.
Take off next week also. So the baby didn't come to the next week. So I gave him that week off, gave him the next week off, and the following week, paid him for all this time.
Wow.
And then I realized in those 3 weeks, I produced more without him in those 3 weeks than with him.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that. You know, at some point in time, like we had a big sales team, right? We had like 15 people calling my clients, and when we kind of like shrunk that sales team and really like put like 1 or 2 people in that position, and then I was working, we made just as much as, or if not the same amount of money, literally. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you gotta look at your business and understand that less is more. So you know, sometimes the simplicity of your business is way more effective than to try to have this person doing this or chasing job titles. So I learned early on that job titles can get you like an empty bank account, just like you were saying.
Yeah. So I actually got an acronym for it because I just call it status. And status is just still too arrogant to understand success.
Right.
So people
I like that.
Status. I'm like, bro, ain't no money with status.
Yeah. I last year, you know, I cut down a lot of people in all my companies. We was 60 to 75 employees. We went down to about, I don't know, I'm right around 14 to 17. I don't know. I got to check with the team, but literally, and we are still able to handle the workload. So I realized that I was trying to build this big company and be this guy to be able to come on these podcasts. Yeah, I got 75 people. Not understanding that was actually hurting me.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I had my agency. We're doing maybe 10, 15, 20,000 whatever in a month. And we were about to push, like we had 7 people at like our peak, and I was trying to get to 10. And then I heard my first coach's coach talk about, we did 30 million with 5 people.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
The same thing I asked myself. Like when you look at these guys and, you know, they do these 7-figure days or they do these, you know, multi 6-figure months, and you scratching your head like, I know I'm just as good as them. Why am I not receiving that same results? And I realized it goes back to what you said earlier. Premium people, they understood that, hey, for my less premium people, I'm not against you. Here's YouTube, here's Instagram, here's all of this stuff that I'm doing for free. But the people who's ready to rock and roll and play with me, you know, here's the invoice. You know, so and they charge accordingly. And ain't no feeling sorry for anybody. You even gonna pay? You know, one of the people said, people who don't pay attention.
Yeah.
So one of the things I learned was stop charging people. Yeah, so I just started charging people accordingly. So even now, like we went November into our rebuilding stage with one of my other companies, and we're actually launching the company literally by next week to buy other companies. You know, I want to buy online businesses and I want to buy agencies. So if you know anybody who got an agency that's producing at least 5,000 to 10,000 in revenue, who want to cash out or get a big offer and still get a check every month, I'd be more than welcome to talking to them to figure out how can we make something happen.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to talk to you about that. And part of I talked about on my call earlier today, part of my 2024 game plan, if you have an agency doing between 1 to 5 million a year, I'm buying you out next year.
Yeah.
I'm probably buying out at least 3 agencies that are doing multi 7 figures next year.
Yeah, so that's the same plan with us. So talk about the book, right? Never Worked the 40. Like that's a dope book. What could someone get it? How did you come up with the concept? And if I read it, what to expect from it?
Yeah. I think I dropped y'all a special link, Never Worked the 40/1, the number 1 special. So the book sells for $47. You use that link, you can actually get it for only $1.
Wow.
So I just wanted to bless your audience with that. But Never Worked the 40 really just takes over and explains, one, where I was in my journey to discovering the concept of never working the 40, how to build a 6-figure part-time business, and the step-by-step that I took. So I cover everything in the book between your mindset going into it, how to find your niche, how to figure out what service you need to offer, how to make yourself seem like an extremely established business from the start, which is a concept that I came up with that nobody's teaching. And I can drop more with that here if you want me to.
Definitely. Drop some nuggets. That's why we call it Nothing But Nugget Podcast.
Yeah. So I call it my magic 3. And with this concept, the way I explain it is there's 3 things that a prospect needs to see to make them want to do business with you before they even hop on the phone call. And I tell people this is why I can close a $6,000, $12,000, $18,000 deal in 15 minutes or less, like clockwork.
Right.
And like I sent my mentees a recording of one of my calls when I was doing a sales call for my agency, and I did like a play-by-play breakdown. Like I'll pause it, tell me exactly where I'm going, and then that's like, look at it, we're 6 minutes in, I'm going for the close. But the magic 3 is the 3 things they need to see is they need to see you're an established company, they need to see a bold offer, and they need to see that you've done it for someone like them. Established company, bold offer, and you've done it for someone like them.
Well, but if somebody's new starting out, how would they kind of leverage that offer?
Yes, sir. I was just about to ask the question if you did. So I'm super glad you asked, because that's the question I always get. Here's the coolest thing that people just, especially older people, they'll never grasp this concept. Like, because you see them watch the news and they're in the media all the time. And if they see something on the news or in the newspaper, it's the gospel truth.
Right.
They believe anything they see in the media. What they don't understand is that the media is a business, aka money talks. So you can literally go to these media platforms and pay them to write an article.
Right.
So one of my favorite stories when I launched my agency, my wife works in finance. I'm talking to her boss. I was like, hey, I launched this agency. I'm doing advertising and stuff for realtors. Don't know if you know anybody. He's like, all right, well, cool. Yeah, no, you do your thing. Just let me know how it goes for you. Like, just completely pushed me off. The next week, I had an article written in Fox. They said if I paid them extra, I could even write my own headline. So I wrote the article and gave it to them, wrote a headline talking about how my agency was a game changer in the real estate industry. I sent him a link to the article. He gave me 3 referrals that day.
Wow.
I ain't doing nothing.
Leveraging credibility.
You get instant credibility. So that's how you show that you're an established company. It's just you just pay the media to do articles for you. The bold offer, the secret to sales is make them an offer they can't refuse.
And what does that really mean? You know, I hear people say that, but from your concept, like, what does that really mean?
Yeah. So, and I think personally, so like I like to use my offer as an example for Lifestyle CEO Fast, because I think I have the strongest offer in the game. So make an offer that they literally feel stupid saying no to.
Right.
So my offer is I will help you start and scale a digital marketing agency and go from $0 to $10,000 a month in 90 days, guaranteed, or I will personally give you $10,000 for wasting your time.
I like that. This year we just started learning about guarantee offers. Like, I was petrified of guarantee offers because that means that it's dependent on someone who really don't want to do the work. So if your client lazy, then they can use you as a scapegoat. But then I took some training and I learned how to frame a guarantee offer. I said, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, and then my guarantee, I just spell it out. Like, all right, because I do so much in my offer. Like, I help them choose their niche. I pay for their PR, and I get them featured in 200 different articles. So forget just having one Fox article. You look super established because you're in 200 articles. I find the VA for you. I hire them, train them. I set up an email campaign that's going to send 25,000 cold emails to your niche every single month. Plus, you have a DA that's shooting out DMs, booking appointments for you. They get my step-by-step sales call strategy. They get everything. So the third part of the Magic 3 is they need to see that you've done it for someone like them, right?
Right.
How do you do that? I partner them with a contractor that has experience in their niche. So it's like, all right, you do all the work. I charge the client $3,000. I pay you $500. I still keep $2,500 profit. your experience, you're doing all the work with a guarantee on it. Plus, I have an exclusive licensing deal with these contractors to where I get a book of case studies from them for all my clients to use to say.
So it's almost like a white label type of thing where you're using a service that's already established, but you don't have to worry about the back end nuances of it.
Yep, I set up all the white label relationships for my clients.
Man, that's smart. That is beyond smart. So what does something like this? I don't have to get into your offer, right? Because I don't know if you're comfortable giving out the price right now, but
it's always going up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
I got you. So what is something like this? Like if I wanted to, like, let's say for example, you use me and say, yo, bro, like I want to create an agency. Maybe I don't really want to deal with realtors because I feel like they're cheap. No disrespect to realtors.
I love realtors. I love it.
I don't know. Maybe the realtors I dealt with over the years.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just dealing with low quality.
Realtors, mortgage, HVAC, and solar. Those are the top niches right now.
So if I wanted to create an agency from scratch and I come to you out the door, like what would something like that cost me? And then what would be my projected like potential profit? I don't know. There's no guarantee to anything, but what would something like that cost me?
Yeah. So it's different ways to do it. The thing my clients love about me, because I don't want to talk bad about anybody else's programs. I've joined so many, but a lot of my clients face the same thing like I did. It was like, hey, I invest like everything I had into this program to start an agency. And then like, all right, well, you got to use this software and this and this and this and this and this and this. You're like, yo, I can't afford the monthly cost for all this stuff.
Right.
So me coming from nothing, because I got laid off and had to figure out how to build this stuff with no money. I figured out how do I get my monthly expenses for my agency to be less than $1,000. Depending on how in depth you want to get to it, it can be less than $500 a month in expenses.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as me, actually, I keep this guarantee for anybody in your audience. Anybody shoot me a DM, say I found me through Antoine, you can join the program for only $6,000 because I do a one-time November no excuses special where I drop the price to $6,000. It's typically $12,500 though for my program.
And so you set up everything, you work with us, you get us going, you get us the press. What is the strategy like? Are we running Facebook ads to start to get clients? Are we door knocking? Are we cold calling? What does that look like to get me some accounts soon?
Yep. So the emails. So we're sending out 25,000 emails to your niche every single month, pitching them. So the way I see it, out of every 500 emails you send, you'll get one positive reply. So typically out of every 12 positive replies, you'll book 6 calls, 5 will show, 1 will buy. So I send out enough emails every single month for you. So that way you can get at least 3 to 4 deals just from that.
So you figured out a way to master cold emails.
Yes, sir. And then we'll have to get another 1 to 2 deals a month through Facebook DMs as well.
Yeah, so I ain't trying to put out too much sauce, but this is nothing but nuggets. Like I've been kind of had my head inside of ManyChat, and we're building some shit up in ManyChat right now that we're running, messenger ads and automations and things like that to get people straight from being interested to getting on the phones with someone from my team as soon as possible. What I realized is TikTok and Instagram and all these platforms is making the attention span a lot shorter, right? Yeah. So a lot of people don't want to wait to go to your website to book an appointment. They don't want to wait to 2 to 3 days for you to call them. And by then they forgot all about what the hell you're talking about. So what I learned so far in the last 8 months is as soon as a person's interested in what I got going on, I need to be on the phone with them the same day. And if they can't be on the phone with me the same day, I need to have content in their face where they glue to me and my offer as much as possible through emails, through text messages, through YouTube. And that's why I've been banging YouTube hard. I said, I'm going to be on YouTube every day for the next 12 months to the point when you log into YouTube and anything about virtual assistants and real estate or online businesses, I'm going to dominate that niche. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of people got to go back to and say, yo, people have short attention spans. What could I do to get in front of them?
Yeah, that's cool. So, all right, I'm going to need everybody watching to do this because you talked about YouTube. Friday on my YouTube. Y'all go follow me. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. I have a video dropping on Friday about the 10 mistakes people make with the digital customer. The first mistake is slow response time. You got 5 minutes before that lead is not hot anymore. If you don't get in their attention,
you dropping some little nuggets on me too.
you got 5 minutes. So this is what we do. If we're running an ad, I'm going to use high level, and I'm going to make sure that my high level account and my Facebook ad are linked up. So that way when that lead comes in and we get their phone number, it's automatically going to set up a trigger to dial out to me. So it's going to dial out both ways. I'm going to pick up the phone, and we used to set this up for our clients also. So the moment they become a lead, seconds later, you're on the phone talking to them. If they don't answer, they get a voicemail drop.
That's dope. We set something like that up in our high level where they fill out the form or they become a lead, and literally we're texting them, hey, book appointment, here's some information. And this funnel went in live today, and we generated about 13 leads. So it works. I know for a fact it works. But the automation side of things, one of the biggest things that I want to do is, like you said, get on the phone with them as soon as possible. It's nothing like that human interaction. Automation is great, but just them being able to talk to someone and they know it's a real person is pretty dope. Especially now with this whole AI thing, and now people to me, I feel like people are going to water the whole AI thing down. This is the best time to double down on human interaction, in my opinion.
I think so too. So this is cool. People love text message, right?
Right.
Here's a strategy you can do. That you send that text message. So are you on your ads? Are you giving them like a lead magnet? What type of offer are you hitting them?
We've run a couple of different ads. So some of our ads, it's a lead magnet. We're using like a free event as a lead magnet where we give away our best information, and then upselling coaching or high level consulting. And then a lot of our ads is just straight up give me your information in exchange for access to this previous training I've been done.
Yeah. So if you have anything like that, for them to get access to it, text it to them. And when I say text it to them, the first thing they get, the first text message, shouldn't be the training or the lead magnet or whatever the resource is. The first text message is, hey, is this Antoine? And
Right.
then they have to respond back and say yes. And then, or it's like, hey, I want to give you access to XYZ resource just to be sure it's this Antoine. And they're like, yeah, this is Antoine. Then an actual person interacts. Perfect. Here's the link. And then you can start the conversation. Just curious, what got you interested in this?
Right.
And now you're having a conversation, and you're probably just 2-3 messages away from actually booking a call with them.
Yeah, I like that. That's dope. What else information you can provide us? Because this is good. This is, a lot of people don't understand the power of just communication. Communication, like especially like contractors or people who work trades, they don't have this stuff. Like you said, when you create an agency where you can create these automations and book these things, even like the high level guy now where this is an exclusive relationship with Google where you can set up these Google bookings directly from Google and it goes straight to them. So like you can come in there and charge somebody a pretty penny for that stuff, and they'll gladly pay, because to HVAC guy, especially now, like depending on where you're at in the country, if your heat go out, that's $5,000 right there. Just for them coming out, they know they're gonna make a $5,000 profit.
Exactly.
So paying you $3,000-4,000 a month, $3,000-4,000 a month is pennies. It's pennies compared to the amount of money they're gonna make.
Yeah. So it's like, and the way I would do it, the way we did it with realtors, like I literally have testimonials of realtors I helped make $18,000 commission in their first 30 days of working with us. Mm-hmm. And it's because like we set up the system, because I'm all about the VAs. Like I get a VA, I got all my SOPs intact. So that lead comes in, the realtor gets a notification every time the lead comes in. Guess what the realtor has to do with that lead? Absolutely nothing. Right. I only do that just so they can see I'm going to get them 100 leads. Why do they typically not like Facebook ad agencies? Because they get a bunch of junk leads in there, and they don't want to call all these junk leads. So what do? As soon as that lead comes in, I have a VA attached to their account who also gets access to it that immediately reaches out to them. They're going to get on the phone with every single lead that comes in. The realtor gives us a qualification, like a list of all their qualifications. We throw it into a script. My VA qualifies them, and only the leads that qualify, we get a link to the realtor's calendar, and my VA books appointments on the calendar for the realtor for them. So they only talk to qualified leads.
And what does that model look like? That's a book per appointment, pay per appointment model, or is that a
They can
flat
pay you
monthly
$6,000
retainer?
for that. They can pay you $6,000 for that.
Yeah, nah, you doing it, brother. You doing it.
Yeah,
So
but it's like, but my pitch is because I love ROI. Like I love offers that you can show ROI, and I
right.
always ask them, and they always have huge egos. It's like, all right, cool. If I give you 12 pre-qualified leads that say, hey, I'm looking to do business right now. Out of those 12, how many of them will you close? I'll close at least 10 of them. What's your average commission? 5,000. So that'd be $50,000. If I could guarantee we're going to give you the opportunity to make $50,000 in the next 30 days, would you feel comfortable paying me $6,000? It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no brainer offers. Yep. Yeah, so somebody asked, can you do this for real estate wholesalers? Yeah. Yeah, he can do this. I can do this. This is what we do on our implementation side of things, where we come in, we set up these funnels. You know, I don't see no competition with nobody. So if you want to go reach out to him, reach out to him. If you want to reach out to us, it doesn't matter. Either way, someone's going to help you. So you can set this up, and that's how I was trying to explain to the real estate wholesaling community that you can set up these automations by either having a VA do manual cold calling, which is a lot more labor intensive, or you can run ads. We're testing out real estate ads right now. We're testing a small campaign at $10. We got 2 campaigns, $10 a day, and we're generating maybe 8 to 15 leads a week. And we're just testing it out. We're doing automation. Yeah, we're doing automations where we asking them questions back and forth with the automation and triggers, and people are actually sending back the addresses because on Facebook you're not allowed to ask for the address. So we're getting the address and we refine that system. And once we ready to turn up the budget to like $50, $60 a day per campaign, then, we'll put that out there for the community to kind of indulge in. But the ads are definitely effective. I definitely think that when you're doing Facebook ads in a real estate niche, you definitely want to know multiple strategies because these leads, like they all have motivation, but they all have situations. So they can't just take 50 cents on the dollar for their house. Some of them literally have a brand new house they bought maybe 3 years ago, and they get a divorce or they're in the military and they got to relocate and they don't want to do the house, but they can't sell for half off because they owe money. So they give you the house and you give them a few dollars in their pocket and you can have the house. So that's one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people got to understand.
Yeah, no, I love the niche. You up it to 16 a day with a good offer, you're going to build a book at least. You'll get at least 100 leads a month. So you'll be pushing around 25. The most I ever got in a month at that budget was closer to, I think we got this one lady in California. I think it was like 260 leads in 1 month off of a $16 a day budget.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's the best campaign we've ever done.
Yeah. So where you see yourself for 2023? What's some goals for you?
Our biggest goal, actually, this is cool. This is the first place I get to announce it publicly. 10 million is mine and my wife's goal for this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but
how you want to get to
it? It's helping 250 people hit the 6-figure mark in their agencies. That's a bigger personal goal for me.
Yeah, that's impressive. So I'm pretty sure you got some events coming up, or how you're going to get your clients or fill them seats for that 250 people.
Yeah, so for as far as events, this hasn't even been announced yet outside of my mentees. The weekend of May 5th, I'm actually doing my very first event. It's going to be a mansion mastermind here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Renting out a very nice mansion. We're catering food in, so food's going to be taken care of for everybody. I'm renting out, at the minimum, I'm renting out a Ferrari. I'm thinking about also getting an Aston Martin and a Rolls Royce. So that way everybody can come. You get to have community. You can get all these resources, connections, but you can also shoot your own ads at the mansion.
That's the smartest play. Like, go down there, pay the money to get into the house and have your shooter with you. And you at certain scenes of the house, doing your content, get you about 40, 50 videos in where you can get your content and get you some pictures and stuff so you can run the shout out page place. So, I mean, that's a smart
Exactly.
idea. That's a smart idea. I like it. I like it.
So yeah, it's going to be a great event. And then we got David Power Talk coming in to be one of the speakers. We got he's going to talk about branding and telling your story. We got Mr. Precise coming in and giving you all these credit plays. And we got a guy named Kevin Marcus Miller coming in. We recently connected. I was like, yo, I got to have you on here. The story's just crazy about like having this first like dinner with like the in-laws. And he goes into cardiac arrest at the dinner table.
Wow.
Comes out, he's not healthy enough to work a job. So he starts an agency and scales to full out this thing.
Wow.
And the only reason we connected is because he reached out to me. He was like, weren't you in this coaching program? I was like, yeah, you too, right? He was like, yeah. He was like, how about this? And I was like, yeah, you too. He's like, yeah. It's like, I realized we the only 2 Black people in those programs.
That's how it usually is, especially me when I used to travel. I used to do a lot of real estate events and speak on big stages. I spoke to about 3 or 4 stages, or at least 500 people in the audience or more.
Wow.
And I realized when I looked around, I didn't see nobody look like me. And, we started to put out content, and the people that look like me got attracted to the content because I'm able to break down the information in terms that they understand. And that was one of the biggest things where I realized that I can come back and help my community. I'm really honored by that, you know what I mean? So I always try my best to think about that as I'm putting out information, like, okay, how this going to help everybody around me? And that's what we do. So I can't wait till we launch our company where we're buying businesses, because I feel like I'm able to really provide value because I'm able to show the mechanics of, doing due diligence. And, one of the biggest things is using the VAs to help me with the due diligence and creating that back end of it. That's what I'm really excited about, because, over in the Philippines, man, you can hire, like, a lot of people don't know this, but all of your big companies here in America outsource a lot of their stuff to overseas. So all your architect firms, the people that's really drawing the plans to the buildings are someone from India or the Philippines. All your accounting firms that's doing all the ledgers and the auditing and the forensic accounting stuff, they got someone in the Philippines handling that, and then they just putting their face and name on it and saying, yeah, this is what it is. So now I'm able to kind of like, I'm trying to set up a funnel where, you want to sell your business, give me your information, we'll reach out to you. Within 48 hours, we will give you a LOI that makes sense for both me and you. And if you want to move forward, we can have closing and, all of that stuff. So that's something I'm trying to accomplish.
That's going to be strong. What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, when I got into real estate, to do multifamily. I ended up doing wholesaling for since 2018 up to now. And I just want a new challenge, right? When you're looking at life and you're trying to figure out how to get to the next level, like, how could I get to the point where, real estate has ups and downs, right? But when you're looking at starting a business, 75% of all businesses fail within the first 5 years, right?
Yep.
But when you acquire a business and you do the due diligence right and you buy right and you follow the formula, that turns into a 2% failure rate. So for me, it just makes sense. And then I look at the people like the Warren Buffetts and the Jay-Z's and the Robert Smiths and all these big rich people. They didn't make a lot of their money from just starting a business from scratch and working hard. Now, it did contribute, like maybe a Facebook or Amazon, but if you look at their portfolio and look what they did, they acquired a lot of businesses. Like Mark Zuckerberg, he bought Instagram, right? And he turned that from $1 billion investment to a $44 billion, investment by, just buying it and adding more value to it. So for me, the thought behind it is, instead of just, trying to just buy all this real estate and it take me 10 years to be worth, $10, $15 million, which all my other friends do. There's nothing wrong with that. But that takes a lot out of you mentally and physically. I don't want to be like that. I'm 34. I'll be 35 this year. I don't want to be the guy that's mentally burnt out. So for me, in the next 3-4 years, I can literally acquire a bunch of businesses and be worth 9 figures easily. Increase that value. And when I look at people who sold their businesses, they put that money back into real estate. So real estate will never leave. It'll never stop being my passion. Real estate is wealth preservation. For example, if you decide to buy an agency and sell it and you make 30 million, right? You're gonna probably park a lot of that money into real estate holdings for depreciation, all that stuff. But the majority of money was made from owning a business. So that's the reason why I want to do this. I feel like I'm ready for it. I've been studying it, and I'm ready for a new chapter in my life.
That's awesome. Can I give you a play?
Sure, I'm ready for it.
It's a secret. So, and this is just a marketer. I mean, I got a string hanging from my hat, but this is a secret people don't know. It's why Facebook bought Instagram. And I'd be curious if anybody watching knows it. Like, I'm just drawing it out to create the suspense. But the reason they bought Instagram wasn't because Instagram was this great idea. It wasn't because they were this all-in competitor or anything like that. The secret to them doing that was Instagram had a list. So when they bought Instagram, they were buying their list.
Mm-hmm.
So you see all these companies that get bought out, they're getting bought out so they can get access to this list. Mm-hmm. But now you get to access the list as another brand that they trust. So now your reach just multiplied in multiple ways.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So even for us, like, I own an outsourcing agency. It's a non-traditional agency where we charge a flat fee up front, but we're not making any money on the back end. I want to buy a few more outsourcing agencies, but I don't want to go through building the infrastructure or acquiring customers. So I just want their list. So, that's going to be something we do really vocal. I think we got this whole Facebook thing down pat, so we're able to run ads to people who may be interested in selling. And right now, in the next 10 years, this is the biggest transformation of people selling their businesses, because majority of these businesses won't be passed down. And a lot of these people retire in the next 10 years. So it's the perfect opportunity to start, adding to your business portfolio.
Yeah. And we're in this weird economic turn where, honestly, COVID gave people a lot of business they shouldn't deserve.
Oh, yeah.
And now with things turning, if they ain't really about it, they're not going to be able to, especially like people trying to compete with me and my offer, you're not competing with my offer. Because it takes some... you got to have a pair to be like, yo, if you don't get results, I'm gonna give you 10 grand out of my own pocket.
Right.
That take a pair, but I know I can fulfill on it. All the people who ain't really about it they're not gonna be able to compete. So if you can't compete, you can't make money. If you can't make money, you gotta sell.
Right.
So for people like us, oh man, this is about to be a good market for us. We can buy for everybody.
Yeah. The next 4 years, man, I'm head down, putting in the work. So So you said you want to help 250 people for the year. What about some personal goals? You got any children?
Not yet. Though 2025, I plan on buying my house. So my wife and I, we're thinking about having kids then when we buy. Well, we're in a house now, but it's like house now is like $250,000. It ain't nothing. But my dream home, which is crazy. Yeah. Let me look at time. All right. So I love telling this story because I love how God works. And I apologize if anybody doesn't subscribe to my beliefs. You don't have to. I'm a Christian. These are my beliefs. And I love looking at houses. Now, and it's crazy because I tell people I saw houses that look a lot better, that I like aesthetically more than my dream home. But when I saw that home, I felt like God spoke to my heart and said, that's your house.
Right.
So then I'm like, all right, well, I looked up the address and I drove there. And I get there and I got that feeling. And I told my wife, I was like, yo, like God just told me this is our dream home. We're going to buy it in 2025. Right now it's on sale for $5 million, but we're only going to buy it for $3 million. And I showed her the picture. She's like, oh, that looks nice. And I drove her there. And the time she got there, she got that same feeling that I got, where God was like, yo, this is your house. So I'm like, all right, I don't know how we're going to do it, but 2025, we're paying $3 million cash for this house, even though it's being sold right now for $5 million. It's like, we're going to buy for like $3 million in 2025. Well, yeah. I go there with one of my friends to show him. And I go, Well, somebody just bought it, so my wife's feeling all bad. Somebody bought the house. I was like, you want to go knock on the door and see who bought the house? And he's like, only if you knock. I'm like, bro, come on, let's go. Like, bro, he's door knock for a living. Like, he's gonna go knock on this door. So we knock on the door. The guy opens the door. And I'm like, hey, I'm Jeremy. I love your house. This is my dream house. I was just curious to say, to see who bought it. I was like, what's your name? He's like, hey, my name's DJ. Awesome. I'm like, so DJ, tell me, what do you do? He says, I own an exotic car rental company. Oh, no kidding. He's like, what do you do? So I do digital marketing. He's like, go do digital marketing? Yo, here, give me your number. I'm like, oh, I like where this is going. All right. So we chop it up with them, and then we leave. And my boy looks at me, and like I don't follow sports at all. Like outside of boxing and MMA, I don't follow any sports. But my boy looks at me and goes, I'm pretty sure that was DJ Moore that plays for the Panthers. And I'm like, who's that? So he looks him up, like, oh, that is him. And I go, look up, when's his contract in? 2025? I'm like, I was like, I had a friend who also worked, that played for the Panthers and then coached for the Panthers that lived in that same neighborhood, ended up getting sent to another team.
Yeah, that's how it happens though. Especially they get hurt or something, man. They be out of the city in 2 weeks.
Yep. So boom, I had to drop everything, go to a new place. I was like, I'm like, all right, God, I'm starting to see how this is playing out. I was like, the time frames are lining up. I was like, this is good. So we're excited about buying our dream home and raising a family there.
That's good because one of our mentors said, you can't measure, right? You can't manage what you can't measure. And if you don't have a target, if you don't know that, I want to get that house over in a certain neighborhood in Charlotte, this is what it's going to take, then you don't have a purpose. So when you know what your purpose is, you know the energy it takes to get to where you need to go, it's going to create a sense of urgency that most people don't understand. Like, damn, bro, why are you going so hard? And then you let them know, like, I got a lot to accomplish. That's why I'm going so hard. So that's the same thing for me, man. Like, my biggest goal is to get to Florida. I could have went to Florida a couple of years ago, but when I moved to Florida, like, I don't want to move to Florida and happen to work. I want to move to Florida and be straight. I want to be able to go out every day, eat my lunch, like cook at home okay, but like I want to eat out. I want to go by the beach. I want to be able to, someone's in town. They're like, hey, I'm in town. Sorry, I got to work today. Oh, you in town? Okay, cool. That could wait. Let me go chill with you. Let me go show you around. Like, that's what I want. So I would rather stay here back in Maryland to work towards that so that when I move to Florida, not only that I'm comfortable, but like you said, I'm living in a place that I'm comfortable with, So people say, yeah, move to big cities or move to different cities that change your life. But I don't want to be the type of person to move to a city and it actually pulls me back. I'm like, I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
My guy Trump said, digital marketing good for any business.
Any business can benefit from it. If you're trying to start an agency for any business, I recommend you want to choose a premium niche. Best niches right now, real estate, mortgage, HVAC, solar. Why? Because it's easy to get them results, and every client you get them is going to pay them a whole lot of money. So all it takes is you getting them one extra client for them to get a full return on their investment. Anything more than that is a mega bonus for them. So they'll gladly pay you $3,000 to $5,000 a month every single month.
Right. Yeah, so I think we're going to lead this up. We're going to chop this up a little bit. We're going to put the link to your book in my email. We're going to send this out to everybody. What else?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Maybe, I don't know if you want, maybe we can get together and do some type of webinar just to show people exactly what you do and how to do it. And maybe get some people to sign up that way too.
Yeah, more than happy.
Yeah, we can do something, maybe provide value to the community sometime in late January, early February, if you're available for it.
Oh yeah, man, I'm game. I'm in massive grind mode all year. Actually, I'm going live on my YouTube, breaking everything down every single weekend. So yeah, y'all go there. And if anybody wants a free training where I can break everything down, like, cause some can join my program or not, cause I might not be your coach. I'm gonna give you enough game for you to run it on your own. Only thing I'm here for is all the hard parts, the booking the appointments, to getting the press releases, to finding training the VAs. If you don't want to handle the hard part, pay me and I do all that for you.
Exactly. Nah, I agree, bro. So it feel like we both aligned, man. I appreciate you. Let everybody know how to reach you.
Yeah, on almost any platform, guys, at the real Jeremy F. So my first name, first letter of my last name, at the real Jeremy F. That's YouTube, that's Instagram, that's TikTok. You can search my name on Facebook. But yeah, or y'all can hit me up, lifestyleceofast.com, neverworked40.com/one special if you want to pay $1 as opposed to paying 47. But yeah, Antoine, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, King.
Man, I appreciate you, man. There you have it, the one and only Jeremy. We're going to be back with a code, some type of joint masterclass or something, because we want to provide tremendous value to the community. And a digital marketing agency, you can make, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, especially if you're a shop and you can get on the phones and bang on doors to get people to sign up for your agency.
Easy. Actually, I'm gonna drop one last nugget because I was having a conversation with one of my buddies who always stretches me. You would love him actually, because he just started investing in real estate the end of 2021, and he now has a $30 million portfolio. He's 29 years old, but he's been super successful in the agency space. And he and I worked together on those cold email campaigns. And I was talking to him today, and he's like, "Bro, we did $7 million last year just from cold email."
Wow.
And I was like, "Bro, that's why you're the goat at this stuff." So I always consult with him.
Yeah, man. I definitely gotta pull up on you, man. It's a couple of people in Charlotte. I'm gonna have to make it my business to get to Charlotte this year.
Bro, come on.
Yeah, I gotta
come in May. Come to the mastermind.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna connect with you offline and give you my number. I'll definitely pull up on you. Yeah, sure, that sounds like a good move to come down and just network, man, and see, how can I be of value to people too.
Absolutely. Just let me know. I appreciate you.
No problem. Hold on. Any questions, guys, before we get out of here? My boy, what did he say? My boy Luck and I are looking at vacation property in Florida right now. Yeah, man, Florida, definitely the move. Florida always, like, as long as they continue to have no state taxes and they have all these different attractions and, they're a little lenient when it comes to rules and stuff, like, I think people are always going to go to Florida. And they got good weather all year round, Up here in Maryland and the D.C. and even in North Carolina, it get wonky. But Florida, man, you straight. You good to go. 70, 80-degree weather.
Mm-hmm. Actually, definitely make sure you tap in with King Entrepreneur Terry and Luke. Terry's like the king when it comes to credit.
Yeah. So, we probably gotta get bro on. Like, bro, like I told this platform, I'm trying to get everybody on network and everybody eat. Like, strength in numbers. So, yeah, tell them to reach out to me. Get them on. If you know the credit, man, we need some souls. We need everybody to be able to walk away with at least one solid credit card after that episode.
Let's go. Yeah, you can do it for your own business. I recommend you do. I recommend you run marketing for your own company.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially as you start to scale your numbers in, because by the time I left my agency, when we was doing for the realtors, I knew for every $240 I spent in advertising, I would close one $6,000 deal. So then it's like, all right, well, how much money am I going to spend? As much as I want to.
Exactly. Once you get that formula, it's literally printing money because you understand the risk versus reward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, man, bro, this is a good episode. You'll be one of our first episodes that we actually upload to Spotify. We do really good with just YouTube. I was banging off YouTube for years, but like a lot of people told me, man, you could have had a big reach if you just put your stuff on actual podcast platforms. So we want to upload this stuff to Spotify, all of Google Play, all them different platforms. We got a software to put it on all platforms at one upload. So
nice.
I got y'all, bro. Just want to be a blessing to others and many people God loves. Man, exactly, man. Like I'm a Christian myself. I'm not like an everyday Christian, but I'm definitely a person that if your purpose and your calling is helping others, it don't always have to be in church. You can be a blessing to someone outside of church. You can literally help people and give information and do your stewardship this way. You know what I mean? So no one's better than anyone else. So that's why I always tell people, if your thing has been out here in the streets and helping people and putting people together, then hey, that's your missionary work, in my opinion.
That's right. 100%.
So he's saying, is it digital marketing? You
Yes.
just give a run through what digital marketing is one more time so people will know.
Yeah. So if y'all want a more in-depth video, definitely follow me on subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a what is digital marketing video on there. But it's literally just marketing online. So whether you're doing Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, search engine optimization, web development, like web design, all these ways of marketing your business online, cold email, or just email marketing in general, text message marketing, funnel building. It's such a broad thing.
Right. Yeah. So so you tap into the digital marketing space. It ain't doing nothing but getting bigger and bigger, honestly.
Yeah. And y'all hit me up. Like, I'm more than happy to help answer questions, hop on calls to people. Like, I love helping.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But we're gonna end it here, guys. We run over an hour now. I know my man got to get back to the family, so we're getting a little late. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching the replay, don't hesitate to reach out. Once again, give them your social media.
Yes, at the real Jeremy F.
All right, so catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, King.